live at Enchanted Circle Pottery. I've just walked into the first level. We'll shoot some outside photos a little bit later. It's snowing. You can't see the outside very well, so we're going to show you that later. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce you to JoAnne and Kevin Dekeuster, and they're going to introduce you to their extraordinary work. So first we have here Jo. Say hello.
Hi.
This is Jo Dekeuster. That's Jackie standing in the background. And this here is Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, how you doing today?
We're good, thank you. Why don't you tell us about these platters you have here sitting on these tires?
These are some of the few slab work I do, and these have been drying for about 4 or 5 days. And what I do is roll out a slab, and then I start to manipulate the clay the way I want it. And this should give you a feel of probably the ocean or something like that. So these are my latest platters I've done.
Very cool. I'm going to come in and take a closer look at the platters here, and then we'll wander around a little bit. We are actually in their studio, and it is, as I exclaimed when I first walked in the door, the cleanest studio I've ever been in. It's a beautiful, wonderful space. Look at this beautiful movement in these platters. Lovely. We have stacks and stacks and stacks of greenware all over the studio. What are you, prolific? Or do you keep this up for months and months before you fire?
Right. We've been making for since October, and now we're doing some firing, and we need enough inventory to last the summer.
Very good. Okay, look at these wonderful windows, and you can see why we didn't take any pictures outside, because yeah, it's April and yeah, it's snowing. And now, Jo, are these larger pots yours, or are these Kevin's too?
The great big tall ones are Kevin's. Anything wheel thrown is Kevin's. The work that I do is strictly slab built, and so here's some of the horses I just finished. And so I do more sculptural things. I do a set of functional things as far as a few serving plates and things like that, but the majority of my pieces are all slab sculptural type pieces.
I love the horses.
Thank you. So what we're doing today is we're getting ready. You can see that, like on some of the most of the pieces, there are little pieces of tape. They're all measured and ready to go into the kiln, because we're going to be loading the kiln tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
So shall we walk out the other door? Do you want to show us the kiln?
Yep.
Is it too inclement to go out there?
Oh, no, not at all. It's in a shed. So.
Okay. Well, we'll shut this off and we'll go out the other door. Go.
This is our studio, and there's a crack right down the middle of the studio. This area is mine. I make round things, and over here my wife makes the flat things. So we're separately in love, and it works great that way.
That's awesome.
Okay, and then we're going through here. This is the glazing area and the biscuing area in here. Here's another rack of pottery that's going to be going in the kiln. There's our kiln over in the corner. We fire that to 1800 degrees. Everything is fired twice. First in the electric kiln over there. It comes out a pink, something like these pieces here. They are half baked, you could say. After they are fired one time, if they're utilitarian, such as this piece, we will put a glaze on it. It looks like chocolate milk on here. This glaze is a glass coating on the pot, so no bacteria can build up.
Perfect.
Okay? And we also wad the bottom of our pots. The reason we wad the bottom of our pots is so that the flames can go underneath the pots, and you don't get that transitional line that most pottery have.
Okay.
Now we're going to go out this door here, and we're going to go out to the kiln area.
Okay.
This is all our flatware that's ready to go out to the kiln tomorrow. These pieces are going in the chimney. Here's some of the platters that I was working on earlier, and these are going to get into this kiln. Okay. This is our kiln area. There's 10 cords of cordwood here. And over there's about 15 cords of shavings from the mill down the road. Okay?
Cool. we're following Kevin out into the snow.
This is the stack of wood right here that we'll be using in the kiln. We're going to start it tomorrow night at about 5 o'clock. This is the kiln itself. The kiln itself is built into 3 different sections. This section is called the bury box. This is where you throw most of the wood in. This is the body of the kiln. The door's on the other side. The body of the kiln is 10 foot long, 5.5 foot tall, 3 foot wide. About 70% of that is loading space. The chimney is 28 foot tall, 6 tons of brick. Each of these pieces of the kiln are separately built so that there's an area for it to expand and contract between them so that the whole kiln doesn't keep expanding and fall in. So that's why we have built it like this. It takes 16 man hours to load the kiln. That'll be 5 people, about 5.5 hours each. 3 people, 5.5 hours each, which is about 16 hours. And then tomorrow night about 5 o'clock we'll start to stoke. And we take about approximately 3 cords of wood, 3.5 cubic feet of wood, and we throw it in here. 3 minutes later, we will open this door, take this wood, and we'll chop it and throw it in here. 3 minutes later, we'll stoke there, 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there, back and forth for approximately 40 hours.
You're getting me dizzy.
Goes back and forth for 40 hours. Yeah, it's quite tiring. The reason we do it, there's 2 main reasons why we do this. The first reason is the ash from the wood actually melts on the pots and creates a glaze. Second thing that happens is the flames are hitting it for 40 hours and it gives it color and blushing. If we would fire the second time in the electric kiln, all the pieces in our studio would be white. So the wood fire gives us all the color.
That's awesome.
We got our masters at Northern Arizona University. We went to Japan and studied with Yukio Yamamoto 25 years ago, and that's how we learned how to start the wood fire.
Wow. Okay? Amazing.
Do you want to look inside the kiln?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Okay.
This is the inside of the kiln. You'll see that the flames and the ash have given it a real color, and that's the color of the pot. The pottery comes out too. So this has all been sealed with ash, melted ash.
It's actually extraordinarily beautiful. It almost glows. You know, it's got a real glisten to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And now we're in the gallery.
This here is one of my wife's pieces, and I was telling you that the wood fire does 2 things. The first thing it does is the ash melts on the pots and creates a glaze. And if you want to feel this is melted ash on the pots that creates a glaze. Okay?
Wow, absolutely silky smooth.
This color here is from the flames hitting it, and it gives it that copperish color. Okay?
Wow.
And those are the 2 main things that happen. And the funny thing is, when you put the pots in, your best pots never come out your best pots. I mean, when they go in, they're not the best. When they come out, they're not the best pots. But when they go in, you know, you think they are. So, and also the bad pots really look good. So, so this is my wife's work. She has won 4 of the last 10 shows she's been in. She spoke at the last International Wood Fire Conference. Here's some publications over here that we've been in. Behind you on this wall here is mostly the utilitarian things. All these things are dishwasher safe, microwave safe, safe in the oven.
This is quite an extraordinary operation you have here, Kevin.
Thank you.
And I can't imagine that there's ever a bad pot.
There's plenty of them.
Now, the gallery started originally in this room, and then it overflowed into what was our guest room, and now it's
Extending into the house.
Yes.
So you can show them in here. This is where most people put the pots if they're looking to purchase.
Has the feel of home so they can imagine it in their own.
Right.
So, how much of the inventory that you produce will you have to start over with at the end of the summer? In other words, you really move that much inventory in the summer?
The summer is definitely our busiest time, and like last year out of the sculpture pieces I sold probably 70, and the functional things always are big sellers.
Oh, that I can imagine.
Especially mugs and pitchers and bowls and things like that.
Very cool. I'm going to wander out and go down the hall now.
And as I said, it started in one room, took over another, and now it's completely in here too.
Well, and now we're
So
actually
our living space has become gallery.
walking into the living space, and there's work everywhere you look.
But I think the mass market is too much because people just don't do photos.
I almost can't capture it. There's so much of it. So I'm just walking in, and it's absolutely stunning. I'll give you a better view of some of this.
I mean, at the time,
Yeah, once
And then once I'm all the way in,
she still sends me a check from time to time, but it's never been what it was before. Yeah.
I thought it'd be picking up a little bit now.
Evidently not. People are reusing old masks or something like that.
So are you still making masks then?
No, I don't know about.
Did she want us talking?
Oh.
it doesn't matter
Oh, okay.
because I can edit out sound.
I make about 4 or 5 on special for something. You know, and special orders, people that saw.
So here, ladies and gentlemen, you have experienced Enchanted Circle Pottery, and we hope that you'll stop as you drive through the canyon and experience it for yourself.